Right.
Low. One, two.
Right.
Jay, can you hear me?
Yeah, they can hear us. Right, it's all good now. It's all good. Yeah, give us 2 seconds. It's because you have it open here, yeah?
Thanks, Anna.
So if you're opening that again yourself, just turn it on mute, yeah?
Don't make it out to them like that was my fault. Don't start throwing that out there like I did that in here. You're the engineer. Yeah.
Right, you can hear us now, yeah? Right, hold on. So,
can only walk what I'm giving here, lads.
Jay, you're green, yeah? So, Jay, you're back up now as well, yeah?
1, 2.
I'm alive.
Right, can everyone still hear us correctly?
I wish I couldn't, but I can, yeah.
Right, are we back? Why does this camera look fucking shit now, though? Does yours look alright?
Yeah,
Because you
mine's
sat
fine.
back down.
Hey. Hold on, let me refresh. Right, we're good.
Jay, take us away again, will you? May
Right.
as well do the intro
Maria,
again.
do me a favour. Press that button for me again, will
Are you
you?
ready for this?
Go for it.
Here we go.
You're listening to the Did You Hear Show
Yo, morning, folks.
with your host, Jason Garvey.
For the second time, yo, what's happening, folks? Today I'm joined by the one and only co-host Jay Farrell. On the decks we have Martin Murray, and we're joined by Keith and Pamela from Bella's Journey. How's it going, guys?
Oh, good. Now that we have everything up and running properly.
I think the nerves are gone now, are
The
they?
nerves are well gone now at this stage.
Apologies for that, and you know what? I actually see that there's another issue here, so I'm gonna fix it. Now will literally be 2 seconds. But Jay, crack on there for 2 seconds. It's a quick fix. It's a
What are
quick
we working with here?
What's the next one? It's just the autofocus on the camera. That's all.
I'll just take the camera off, you'll see. Don't have to.
That's it.
There's
It's
the
done
lads.
now. We're
Right,
back up
tech
and on.
issues gone now completely.
And then
Should
he
be
comes in
alright.
with his big arse and bangs my camera out of the way.
You know, we hired Martin to be the engineer, but unfortunately he can't do jack shit, so we'll
Yeah,
have to
just-
get
there's
him
a close up on you now. Just to,
Just chilling in the corner, lads.
Just chilling in the corner. Right, look, we won't waste any more time, folks, for everyone watching. 41 people watching. Thanks for coming along. Right, so I suppose we'll jump straight into it, Key. So, obviously, how I know yourself, you're actually cousins with a friend of mine, Dylan, who I'm extremely close with. And being honest, I didn't even hear the story through him. I heard it through his girlfriend, Donna. I was down at her house one day and she told me that she basically said, oh, did you see what's going on for Bella's Journey? And I was like, I seen a couple of posts on Facebook, and she was like, oh, that's Keith's young one. And I was like, no fucking way, I didn't know, like, you know what I mean? And then obviously Martin came in, and Martin would be close to your brother Mo, and then obviously Mo got involved and started asking us to do sponsorships and stuff. So I suppose we'll start off with the football match, Keith. How did that go?
It was a good match, yeah. It was brilliant. The day went, I thought it was excellent, yeah. I never kicked a football in my life.
Oh, really?
I had to put on a pair of football boots. It was funny.
fancy pair of boots as well, proper white Nikes and all.
There was a lot of lads there now that couldn't kick snow off a rope. But
Looking at you,
yeah,
Barry Begley.
brilliant.
They all turned out. Yeah, Maria, did we touch on you getting man of the match, did we?
No, I
Yeah,
don't-
we did.
That was
Yeah, we did.
favouritism.
We
I think
touched on that
that
last
was
week,
more
did
of a
we?
fix rather
Yeah,
than
no,
anything
fairness,
else.
you're
you know what I
best
mean?
mates with the fella organising it, you know what I mean? You get looked after a bit.
And Jay, you said you're still waiting on your video for the penalty save, what?
That's all I'm waiting on. It's literally it. It's the only thing I've done, to
what
be
about
fair.
the 3 goals in the other 90 minutes though, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, not
I
gonna
want to see
lie.
the penalty at the end.
Yeah, so the third goal, to be fair, was an absolute screamer. There was nothing I could do.
And
about
that was
it.
against the script. We were settling at 2-2, and then their fucking fullback pops up from 30 yards and launches on top corner.
But it was a good turnout anyway.
Oh, it was a brilliant turnout, yeah. It was a great day as well.
Right, so Keith, for those who don't really know about the situation and don't understand, give us a little kind of brief introduction to kind of how Bella's Journey started and where it all started, I suppose.
Well, to be honest with you, with Bella's Journey, I was told with the GoFundMe and everything, I was told at a later stage.
Right.
Because, to be honest with you, I was more too proud of stuff to get anything like that up and running. And I had a couple of people in my ear was like, I just let it happen and get it done. I was like, no. Because I didn't want any bad feedback on it and off it, because the way I look at it, there is people out there to put you down, or he's working or she's working or they're doing this to get on. Why did he need their help to do it? But it got to a stage, like when we made it out, what we'd have to save, like we literally had to save 500 quid a week for 10 years. to build an extension for what Bella needs and the facilitator needs. And it just wasn't possible. There's no way it was possible at that type of money. Like, we weren't living, we were on bread and water every day. I was trying to save that type of money every week.
Of course, 100%. And who initiated the GoFundMe?
It was actually a good friend of Pamela's, Natalie Ward and Denise Daly.
Right.
They were the ones that kind of came together and said, right, we'll deal with it. There's no point being shy about it. There's nothing to be ashamed about. Just get it out there and let's see what happens. And the first couple of weeks, it was dry. Like, it was ticking through. It was like, this is not working. Like, there's nothing happening. And then all of a sudden, everybody wanted to be involved now, which was brilliant.
Yeah.
Like, we're up to over 70,000 now at this stage.
What's it's just turn your mind towards it there, Keith. What is the target?
The target is 120,000.
Right.
Now that's the 120,000 is kind of get us started. As I said, whatever needs, I'll bank loan the rest myself, because obviously the way prices are thing with materials and all, with Brexit and everything now, the way it's going
everything's through the roof.
Everything's through the roof. And we thought at that stage 120 is well enough, but there's not a chance. I know I'm after getting 4 quotes already, and we're well up over the 140,000 mark on quotations alone. And that's not even kitting it out to facilitate Bella's needs, like cranes and hoists and everything to go into the extension itself. Like,
yeah. And tell us, like, what will that extension do for you? Like,
well, there's Pamela. Pamela's the best one. Pamela, at the end of the day, like, Pamela's an 8 to 5 with the kids at home.
Yeah,
I am 5 onwards with them.
Yeah.
Like, she's the full-time worker at home.
Yeah.
I only see the benefits after 5 o'clock coming in,
enough,
kids killing each other, and then it's kind of Pamela's time to step back and say, right, you take a shot at this now.
Yeah.
But it is hard. Like, as I explained to us, Pamela went for back surgery there a couple of weeks ago with bulging discs on her back. She can't lift the baby. She hasn't lifted the baby in probably going on 2 months now, probably longer, and still probably has another month or 2 before she's going to be able to lift her completely. Like, and even at that, you're still pushing it. Like, there was a stage there I thought I was going to have to retire from work, because there's no point having Pamela in the house. Can't lift the baby. She can't do anything with the baby. Bella alone is a full-time job. That's without Callum being there with the cystic fibrosis as well.
Yeah.
And then you've Chantel with cystic fibrosis. She's 21. She does her own thing now. But then you've Nathan. There's a stage with Nathan. Like, Nathan's 17 now. He's kind of learned to kind of live with cystic fibrosis over the years.
Yeah.
He's seen his brother and sister going in and out of hospital every couple of weeks, and he was like, "What do I do here? How does he get on with life? Do you know, that type of way?"
Yeah.
So I try to do as much as possible with him. Like, Pamela will be in the hospital Monday to Friday, then I'll be in the hospital Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So we try and break it up. She bring him the pictures or so on the weekends, or I bring him out during the week, just to kind of take his focus off the other two. The way he was probably looking at it, they're getting more attention than I am.
Which realistically probably is the case, but I'm sure he understands.
He's at that age now. He does, But obviously, growing up as a child,
100%.
You just think you're getting neglected.
Yeah,
full stop,
you don't see it that way. You're too young to understand it fully.
He does in work all day. He's coming home. He's getting washed. He's getting changed. He's going back to the hospital. Probably see me then. Probably 10 o'clock that evening. So he's going to bed at that stage.
Yeah.
So it was hard for him growing up as well. But we do. Like, there's no. Even with Bella, there's no difference. They all get treated the same.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? They're all chastised the same. They step out of line, they're all chastised the same. So they don't, there's none of this, or you can't chastise them because they're sick, or you can't say that to them because they're sick. They all get treated the same, like, at the end of the day.
Being honest, Nathan has a story in himself, you know what I mean?
Definitely, he would do.
When you hear these stories, like, it's like, you have no idea how much of an impact that it has on absolutely everybody, especially the likes of Nathan. Do you know what I mean? 100%. But let's go back, Pamela, to obviously the house, because obviously you're the carer, you're the full-time carer at home. What would the extension do for you, like?
Just give her a better quality of life, like, and I'd be able to get nurses in to stay with her. Like, I'm tired to HSC nurses 7 nights a week, but I can't have them now because I've nowhere to put them.
Yeah.
And then it's just for her own, like, her own sanity. Like, do you know what I mean? She needs it done badly because she needs to get hoists. Like, I haven't got a hoist. It's for all our equipment, storage. She has a hospital bed that's in my room. Can't even get into my bedroom. And then just to get wash her properly and just to give her better quality of life. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, she needs it. Like, and she's going to start going on oxygen now. Like, because she's starting to suffer her chest now. So it's going to have to be done like a hospital room.
And with just like the sums being mentioned, like that must be a lot of equipment. Do you know what I mean? 120k, 140k.
I know.
There must be tons of stuff you need.
It is like she need like, and then she's getting a pea pod. That's like a big beanbag. It's a big beanbag chair. It's a comfort chair for her. It's huge. She has a wheelchair. She has a stander. Yeah. She had got a high chair, but I gave that back because she didn't like it. Like, you know what I mean? She doesn't even like her wheelchair. But it's just a lot of stuff, and then that's without the other two with all their stuff as well. Like she gets Jed fed into her bowel. She gets fed into her bowel. She never ate orally at all. Right. And then she has another tube in her stomach. It's a drainage bag. Her stomach doesn't empty properly. Right. So it's just to drain all the stuff out of her stomach, or else she'll just get sick. Then she has a portica in, and now she's going for an operation to get a baclofen pump in. That's in her stomach, but it's like a morphine pump, but it's called a baclofen pump for muscle spasms. Right. Because she needs that. So you won't be able to even lift her with all these tubes on her now. Do you know what I mean? And then she's on a feed like for 20 hours, and she only gets a break for 4 hours. And then the other two, Chantel and Callum, they have feeding tubes in as well, but they only use them at night time. So if all their equipment, they're on nebulizers. Like, the house is actually like a pharmacy. Yeah, I can imagine. Like, she gets meds in the morning at 6 o'clock in the morning, then she gets meds at 9 o'clock in the morning, then she gets meds at 2 o'clock in the day, then 9 o'clock at night, then 10 o'clock at night, then 3 in the morning. Yeah. And they're not only like 1 or 2 meds, like there's about 5 of them at a time. Yeah, but they're all like relaxing meds. Like, she's on diazepam, you know, the D5s, like, and all to relax her. Right. She's on like Eplum because she takes seizures. Like, it's just, and you have to suction her as well, constantly have suction machines in the house. It's just, everything is all over. So at least if you have the extension, she'll have her own room, everything sorted in her room. I'll able to get the Jack and Jill nurses in during the day to do a few hours. Give you a dig out, yeah. And then I can get the HSE 3 nights a week, not even 7 nights. I wouldn't like to use them for 7 nights. Can I just stop you and give you a compliment already? Because honestly, lads, not once did you say it'd make it easier for me. No. Not once did you say that. I'm actually getting goosebumps even just after saying that, because that's like, automatically you do kind of just think of yourself. Even like, I have 2 kids and I would be thinking, right, what will this do? Right, make it easier for me. You didn't mention yourself once there. I know, we just have to get on. I just take it day by day. I used to now, when I first like had Chantel, like, and they were telling me about her, like, this way she was going to die tomorrow, but like, I used to be thinking, but you just have to take it day by day by day. There's no point in keep thinking, because your head will just be all over the place. You know what I mean?
And first of all, fair play to you, because she's been incredibly nervous beforehand, so you're speaking very well. So fair play. Just to kind of strip it back a little bit, so you mentioned how yourself, Keith, you're 9 to 5, you're out the door, you're working, you're carrying the heavy load at home. What effect has this had on your relationship over the years? Like, let's be honest, I'd imagine it's very challenging at times.
Well, to be honest with you, it was horrendous. Like, even now, at this stage, like, Bella, with the hospital bed being in a room at the minute, it's hard to get in now of a room. And if you put Bella into the bed, it's a possibility she could wake up at 11, 12 o'clock at night, and that'll be her for the night. She wants to wake up and stay awake until the next day. So whatever makes Bella comfortable is what Bella is getting done. Like, 90% of the time, she'll sleep with Pamela in the bed. And I'd sleep on the sofa or in one of the boys' rooms just to see Bella getting a couple of hours sleep. Because there was a stage, Bella was going to bed at 9 o'clock and waking up at 10 and didn't go to sleep till the next day. Right. So like, you were awake from 10 o'clock that night, right the way through, going to work. Pamela was obviously getting up, doing the medication and everything out. Like, it couldn't have been easy. Like, she could sit there and basically, like, I can imagine. We were and like, the credit is even still like toughing it out and being here. Like, I know, like, I can imagine, like, a lot of it is obviously is a love for each other, but the kids as well, and just sticking together for them. Do you know what I mean? Because like, the easy thing to do is like someone to walk away, and just leave it alone.
Yeah, do you know what I mean?
I always had, like, in my eyes, I always had sick kids growing up. Do you know what I mean? I was a child having kids. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? And
well, yeah, actually, let me stop you there, because I want to strip this right back, Keith, right, and Pamela. I want to literally go back, because, like, after hearing the story from a couple of resources, like, I think his story is incredible. So I literally want to strip it right back to when you was met And I want to go from there. I think that's...
No, you don't want to go back to when we met.
No, I do. I want to...
3-1.
I literally want to go straight back and follow the storyline, because I think that's the only way people will get a full indication to what you have been through. Do you know what I mean? I don't think it's fair for, like, this isn't against you or that and Jay, but jumping into relationship or even the house straight away without people knowing the full story. I want literally people to feel like they're in your shoes for an hour listening to your story and understand everything you have been through, right? So started off outside Finches. That way is
outside Finches. Oh, good luck.
There you say. Look.
I think we had a $5 each. We got a 3-1 and 20 smokes at that stage for a $5.
And you meet there every year for your anniversary.
That's every year.
Oh, stop. I mean, like, when you say you met outside Finches, was that after being in Finches, or it was literally just...
you're even too young to be in Finches at that stage. Probably 17, 16, 17 at that stage. But probably was in Finches coming out of that stage. But
asking someone to go in the offer for you, was
it? Stand there with a 3-1 trying to get somebody to get your smokes in the off license.
Snapping because Pamela wants them.
I'm not sure. And you only give you one fork in the golden bamboo.
That's what made it a date, though, Keith.
Oh, stop. Right, so you met outside Finches, and what happened from then?
You don't want to get into technicalities.
You wouldn't have happened to buy about €80 credit to continue the conversation, I'm imagining, at the time.
And there was no free 085.
That's what I'm saying. And there was no fucking WhatsApp. It used to cost a fortune on the text board back in the day.
You used to have to wait till I got home and ring her on the house phone. Do you know what I mean? To talk on the Owen's bill would be up to the roof.
Running down to Clondalkin Village for a payphone.
Had to hitch a trailer to the back of the car to throw the Motorola in it.
I'm telling you, the old call cards we used to have, you go stick it in the machine. You stand out in the rain.
Right, so you were 15, is it?
Yeah.
15, you were 16, I'm assuming, yeah? Right, so you didn't wait long to have a baby then?
You could say that, yes.
Right, is that you just...
The 3-1 was well worth it.
The chicken ball goes a long way.
I was just going to say, you must have gave a half, did you? Right, so you got pregnant at 17, was it?
I got pregnant at 17.
Right, so that in itself was hard. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? So what was that conversation like with your parents?
Oh, it wasn't great. Like, it was horrendous. Like, the two of us are obviously kids at that stage. So
yeah.
The type of way. Like, you hadn't even met her parents at that stage. So
my man found out by a letter come to the door from the doctor.
Right.
Appointment for the count.
And you couldn't hide it quick enough, could you know? We got to it first.
Bad kind of now, but like, my dad didn't. Yeah. He wouldn't talk to me for a few days, but then he was alright then.
Yeah. And how was that with you? Did you get the warnings, or did you...
No, he was alright. He was always alright from day one. Now, there was a couple of times the fucker made me sleep on the sofa. Do you know what I mean? Even when she was pregnant, she was 9 months pregnant. Yeah, sleeping on the sofa. I was like, what damage can be done?
You're not doing that in a week, Gav.
Get down onto the sofa here when he'd be up at 5 o'clock. Right, you're going to work. And I'm like, I'm not until 10. But yeah, he was always alright with me. Yeah, never had an issue with a father or a mother. Now, in fairness, or any of the family. Now, they're all fairly decent. Now, in fairness to them.
And what's the name of your first? Chantal, right. So Chantal was the first, and how soon did you realise that you were having...
We didn't. She was a couple of months old.
6 months old when we found out what was wrong with her. But I knew from the day she was born, like, there was something. She had a cough from the day she was born. She just had runny nappies. She used to cry all the time. She wouldn't feed properly. So I was going back to and she was losing weight, and so I was going back to the Kiln every week, and they kept changing her food, saying there was nothing wrong with her. They didn't, like, cause they were saying, like, she hasn't got a clue, basically. She's only 18 home. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they just changed her food, and then she got pneumonia, and I went over to the doctor, and he shifted her over to our ladies, and done a sweat test on her. That's how you found out.
Okay.
You have cystic fibrosis.
Yeah.
And then they actually let her out. I didn't hear anything for a few days. They let her out after a few days, and then still didn't hear anything with the results. So she got pneumonia again, and brought her back over. And I was called in straight away into A&E, and here it was. That's weird, because you usually have to wait, like. And I went in, about 10 doctors standing there, like, saying, like, we're trying to get through to this and that. She has cystic fibrosis.
Right. So stop there. Right. When you hear that,
I hadn't got a clue.
Right, you didn't have a clue, Keith. You didn't have a clue either. But what was your reaction like when you hear, like, there's something wrong with your child?
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
The worst thing about it was the way they approached it at that time. It was like, your child has cystic fibrosis. She could have 6 months to live. And I was like,
oh, fuck.
You're joking me. I was like, yeah, I'm a child sitting there with a child, but it's still my child at the end of the day. And you don't want somebody telling you your child is 6 months to live. You're like,
you never want to hear that conversation.
The first thing I done, to be honest with you, is I was driving a little late, in Fiesta, jumped into the car, left
no insurance,
no license, no nothing. I jumped into the car, flew home, left Pamela in the hospital with the baby.
Right.
Got me ma, went up, but when I got there, it was like I was hysterical.
Yeah.
Oh, like a baby. They're after telling me my daughter 6 months to live. Like, so they calmed me down, brought me back down to the hospital to Pamela, and when we went in, and it was the guy that raised me, Morris, one of his cousins actually had cystic fibrosis. So it was like, what are you talking about? We obviously just in his part of the family, he had somebody there with cystic fibrosis, so we kind of learned from them.
It was a good tool to go off, was he?
Yeah, because we hadn't got a clue. As I said to you, they gave us 6 months for the daughter to live. It was like, what do we do around 6 months? Do we bring her here? Do we bring her there? Do we bring her to Lourdes? Do we try and make her better in some way? It was hell. It was a nightmare, a complete and utter disaster. And I was just like, what do we do here? And that at that stage, it was just like, I don't know where to go here. What do we do here? Do we wait for this 6 months to come along and then we're going to have to bury her in 6 months?
Yeah.
Do I want to wait that long? Or do I want to just do a runner and get away in the situation altogether now while I can?
It's that helplessness, isn't it? Like
you don't know what to be doing with yourself. Like you just feel helpless, completely and utter helpless.
What are you thinking at that time, Pamela?
It's just the way they put it, like, do you know what I mean? Like,
very abrupt.
do you know what I mean? Like, but come here, she was very sick at the start, but then she just kept coming out, and she's 21 years of age now. Well, nearly 21. She's 21 now, the 8th of November, and she hasn't been in hospital now in 3 years.
Excellent.
She's on this new drug now, and it's a miracle drug.
Right.
Like, literally, she went from coughing constantly every day in, day out, from having no cough completely. Like,
now, when you say she's on a new drug, is this just a new drug that she's trying, or is it only newly created?
She was on the trial.
Right.
She was the first person to go on the trial for this drug.
Right. In the world?
Well, I think there was 2 or 3 of them.
Okay.
Right. And
I'd say that in itself is probably fucking scary, you know what I mean?
Well, she was on the sugar, you call it a sugar, it wasn't the right one, like it wasn't the right one, it didn't do anything for her. But then after a year being on the trial, she went on to the real original one. And ever since that then, she never turned back. But it's only literally out here since January. And Callum started on then January as well.
Right, and is he doing a lot better as well?
There's not a bad on them. Like, even their weight has gone up. Like, everything, you don't even have to do their nabs anymore or anything like that, really. Just, like,
it's after changing everything, like.
You know what I mean? Like, she was very sick all the way up. Like, she had to get a big operation when she was 1. She got a fundoplication. She got her stomach tied in a knot. Because to stop her from getting sick, she had very bad reflux. And then she got the peg tube in as well. And she had that tube all the way up till about 3 weeks ago, and she got it took out. That's how well she was.
So like, where did the doctor say, like, obviously he's told 6 months, so where did he say, here, actually, she might have 7 months or a year?
Said, like,
he never did. That was the
scary part. So you was like living
on time, like.
Yeah, like, give you 6 months, you could give you a year, you could give you 2 years. It's just, you don't know which way. It depends on who.
They shouldn't fucking say 6 months then.
No, that's the worst of it.
Do you know what I mean?
They're always just trying to cover themselves by saying that.
Oh, yeah,
the worst thing that can happen in case that happens. So
I think that's a bad way to go about it. Don't tell someone the worst. Tell them the best.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
The possibilities,
especially when you're getting to that 6 month timeline and you're like, what the fuck's going on?
I cannot imagine how scary it was around that time frame for you. Was like, can you remember?
Oh, I can. Yeah, it was horrendous, and you were just, as I say, you were plodding along day by day, and like there was nobody that came to us and said, "Oh, we made a mistake on that time frame. She's going to be grand for the rest of her life." There was nobody knew at that stage. Like with cystic fibrosis years ago, it was a bad illness.
So can you explain the illness to anyone that's listening and doesn't fully understand it? Like, what exactly is it?
Well, it's to do with their lungs, their breathing. Sometimes it can affect their appetite. Obviously, their mood swings, obviously because of the medication that they're on as well. The bowels.
It affects their liver. Like, some kids have to get liver transplants. Some kids have to get lung and heart transplants. They have, like, see the way we get a chest infection and you get the phlegm. They have that thick mucus in their chest all the time, constantly.
Right.
So does that affect them playing sports, doing anything?
Yeah, that's why you do physio to clear it every day and get it up. But it's always like when you spit it out, it's always green. But when, so that's why they have to do nerves and physio to loosen that. Because if not, their lungs will just collapse, you know what I mean? And then they'll have to go into trouble there and keep getting like pneumonia and this and that. But now, I see loads of kids getting like heart and lung transplants and all, but now, at least my kids didn't. But you have to get it done. It's 50-50. If they're not going to get it done, they're going to die.
Yeah.
If you get it done, like, it's 50-50, they're going to survive it. Do you know what I mean? Like,
but even at that, saying that, like with the heart and lung transplants, that's what it basically is. And there is people out there that we actually know from the hospitals over the years that are booming now, that they told they'd never have kids. Like the guy that I was telling you about, the second cousin, say, for instance.
Yeah.
Like he's out there, he had a double lung transplant, Paul did, and a heart transplant. And he's out there with his own family now. He's 3 kids now, I think, at this stage he has. But the same thing, they told him he'd never have kids, he wouldn't do this, he wouldn't do the other.
Yeah, they're not always correct.
No, they're never always correct.
They get it wrong, you know what I mean?
Some of it is just a miracle as well, though. Some of it, like, they shouldn't live past 6 months or...
Probably,
do you know what I mean? Like, you don't know, like, it's unbelievable how much strength and integrity, like, young kids can show, and just the way scenarios can play out sometimes. Like, there's a force for everything. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I agree as well, but obviously, like, your daughter's progressed now to where she's completely healthy. Like, so let's just say this happens again, which it did. Thought process then, because like you must be thinking
it's supposed to skip a kid though, isn't it?
It does. See, we have Chantel.
Then I got pregnant again, and I had a
Nathan.
miscarriage.
Right.
And then I got pregnant. I had Nathan.
Right. And Nathan doesn't have any issues.
Any illnesses at all.
I had to
No.
get an amniocentesis done in him. You get that done when you're 16 weeks. It's like they take stuff from the baby and it finds out whether they have cystic fibrosis.
They can tell you obviously before the child is born whether it's going to have cystic fibrosis or not.
Right. And they obviously couldn't the first time because they weren't looking for it.
We weren't looking for anything like that. At the
is there anything?
Carry a gene. Do you know what I mean? Like somebody had to have, like my man dad has to be a carrier for me to be a carrier. And his man, dad
so who was the carrier in this case?
Both of us.
Well,
so it's genetic. It's completely genetic.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you have to meet a person with to carry that gene.
Yeah, that's fucking mad, isn't it?
Yeah, out of the blue, to come along and just say
the chances of it, like
the chances that who used to come along and that are 2 genetic
CF
CF holders, like
you'd have a CF baby.
But in one way, you kind of rather both you have it than one of you, wouldn't you? Like, so you can say like, well,
the
it's
responsibility.
Not
well, you can't have it. You can't have a child with cystic fibrosis if only one is the genetic holder. Like.
Oh, really?
The 2 years have to have the gene.
Really?
Oh, that's insane. So
jeez, that's a match made in heaven, then, isn't it? You up the finches.
Thank God for that 3 and 1.
Yeah.
And is there a number on it? Like 1 in 5 people have it.
1 in 4.
1 in 4.
Well, you have a 1 in 4 chance, and
25% chance the you meet has it as well, and then that's gonna happen.
Well, like Nathan could be a carrier. Like Nathan hasn't got cystic fibrosis, so he's a carrier.
200 mic for Pamela.
He'd have to
even
meet,
just put a cent.
He'd have to meet a carrier to have a cystic fibrosis child.
Yeah.
But we went and didn't. He could have kids like grand.
You know what to do, Keith? You put on the headphones and you'll be able to hear then.
Mom was giving out to you, Pamela.
Yeah, you'll be able to hear the levels when you're talking, so you'll know where to turn the mic. Yeah. All right. So, skip Nathan. So Nathan's all good. He's Gucci. He's no issues. He's 100%. Yeah. Right. But like we said, he has his own little things that he needs to deal with.
That he could write there himself. Yeah, definitely.
And how much of a help has Nathan been through this whole process? Because I can imagine, like, he's been a fucking gift for you. Like,
he is being
an extra body, like, you know.
He is an extra body, like, and Bella takes to him an awful lot. She's always screaming. As soon as he hears his voice coming down the stairs, her legs are kicking and screaming.
Yeah, that's
deadly.
deadly.
Hear him coming down, and
he does Bella.
Like, just the minute she hears his voice, it's phenomenal how she goes. Just by his voice alone, like, it's crazy.
And he got the equal.
You're snapping, you don't get that treatment, aren't you?
Believe me, I do. The minute I come in
Only
from the door is to go in, and with the L-shaped sofa that we have, it's like, that's me in her corner.
In Neilstown?
In Neilstown. That's a corner then from 5 o'clock onwards.
Right.
And when I'm telling you, literally, I'll go in there, have a shower and sit in that corner, and she's panted into my arm there till she goes to sleep then after 9 o'clock.
Right. And will she go to sleep without you?
She would, yeah, because she gets on medication at 9 o'clock, and that's what puts her to sleep. Like.
But you were saying, did you say you were the only one that can give it to her? Or?
No, like all the rest of them can give it to her, but they're all nervous when it comes to the suction end of it.
Right.
Like there is a possibility she'll try and vomit or she'll gag, and with that, then everybody kind of panics because it happened. It happened to me there.
You'll just be choking, like, do you know what I mean?
Was it last year?
It's only after 9 o'clock at night, meds. Other meds throughout the day are grand, whatever it is at night.
Yeah.
You know
What are the challenges, I suppose, of looking after a kid who has any level of disability, especially when it comes to like treatment or medication, because the fear of doing something wrong or whatever? Because like I'm not sure how to do this, you know.
Not a doctor.
Is there any? Yeah, exactly. Is there any of them challenges that you face every day where you're like, I'm just not comfortable or whatever?
No, I'm like,
used to it by now.
No, but I mean,
yeah.
even at the start. Like, would it not have been extra challenging?
At the start, with the likes of the
first few
cystic
times would have to be.
Yeah, like we have a chart, obviously going by that chart and what mills and everything you're given at that stage. But as I said, the cystic fibrosis, there was no kind of medication like what Bella is on today.
They're only nebulizers.
They were nebulizers and oral antibiotics and physio where you tap them yourself.
Oy.
She's on like all relaxing meds and seizure meds and stomach meds and all that. Like, do you know what I mean? She'd be on a lot more than what they were. Half the time, I'd actually rather have cystic fibrosis. Let's be honest. At least have a bit of a quality of life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
like
she could have had cystic fibrosis on top of what she has.
Yeah, well, that's where we'll go to. So after Nathan, then did things follow suit? Like, did the next child then have?
Bella is the next child after Nathan. Then.
Right, so Bella's the next child.
Oh no, sorry, Callum. Sorry, Callum.
You're for real?
Yeah, Callum, sorry
about the Antichrist.
See you later, Callum. Right, take it easy, bud.
He's not watching anyway. He's playing Fortnite.
FIFA, so they're all
Stop. And here we are feeling sorry for Nathan.
Nathan got the equaliser. He's a rock star now. He got an equaliser in the charity match.
Yeah, make sure he gets your V-Bucks when he comes home.
Yeah.
Right, so, sorry, what was his name? Callum, right. So, Callum then comes along.
Yeah. Well, I got the test done on him as well.
Right.
Amniocentesis, and I heard back then a week later, and they told me he had cystic fibrosis.
Right, so what was that like again? We was already expecting it.
No, because it's 1 in 4. Like, you think it's not going to happen, like, and I was bawling, crying, and just saying, "Oh, here, I don't think I wouldn't have been able to cope again." And come here.
But this is the thing. This is what I love about you both of you. Like, neither of you ever show that ever. Do you know what I mean? Like, you're always bouncing around the road. Keith comes home from work. He's always smiling. Like, is I just far.
That's because he doesn't have to smell shite anymore.
Yeah. But, like, do you know what I mean? Like, you got a credit. You're just always happy and.
He was grand. Like, do you know what I mean? We knew what we were dealing with this time around.
Yeah, you were more prepared this time. Yeah.
And he's winning 17 either. That helps.
Yeah. The experience goes a long way. You know what I mean?
8 years practice.
And come here, Pamela, another thing that I suppose the likes of us wouldn't really think of, that it was actually Donna that mentioned it to me, like, what was it like for you knowing that, like, let's say you see one of your friends is pregnant, like, they're having no issues, you know, obviously you're happy for them, but just like...
No, I never even actually thought like that.
No?
I'd never actually go down.
Because at the end of the day,
I wouldn't necessarily say grudge, but I mean, like, it's like...
Now, it would just be hard looking at, like, other kids now, like, because of Ella, like, she can't go on, and then that's what kind of annoys me. Don't get me, like, fair play to you for not thinking that way, because I think automatically I would, you know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's...
I don't think we would for any specific reason. I think it'd just be one of those things within ourselves where it's like,
why me?
Fuck, I want that with
exactly.
myself, you know what I mean?
A bit of self-pity, but that's what I was just saying. Like, you don't get that vibe off
these
either.
kids
You never have.
people that can handle them. That's what I was told.
Yeah, well, fucking, he is proving that fucking point anyway, do you know what I mean? So, how was he then throughout the whole process? Obviously, I'm assuming his journey was a little bit easier because, like I said, he's one more experienced.
And he wasn't even as sick as Chantel was, like, do you know what I mean? He was like, Chantel was in hospital well more times than he was.
But would you put that down to you as being more experienced and dealing with it better as well?
Yeah, it could have been, or else, like, I'd say so, and then, like, as the years got on, like, the things they have for cystic fibrosis
get better and
like,
improve,
gets better every year, do you know what I mean? So, say it's that as well, like, but he's actually grand. You wouldn't even think there was a thing wrong with him.
You wouldn't think
do you know what I mean?
wrong with
either of them, like,
if you put them in a room beside you, you're just going to look at them. You'd never pinpoint it.
Yeah.
Not a chance for you to pinpoint anything out of the two of them.
As the doctor says, you don't have to look sick to be sick.
Yeah, 100%.
Say, like, they're grand. You don't look sick. Why you bring them into hospital here? Because their lungs are bad.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
What's it like for you in your daily life as well, just the challenges as well? Like, how difficult does it get? Because sometimes you just want a day off. Sometimes you just want to switch off.
Some days
more than likely you can't.
Run off, like, and just say, right, I need a break.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? For a while. It is hard, like, do you know what I mean? Can't do stuff that other people can do. And
a little weekend away, even.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, like, when was the last time you had that?
We went down last Saturday now. Last Saturday we went just down to a hotel for a night.
Just the two of you?
Yeah.
Hey!
You know what I mean?
Keith has a good track record, so you know what they were up to.
Did you just get a 3-in-1 by any chance?
Yeah. 3-in-1 and 20 below.
We actually went to the restaurant, so I splashed out a bit more this time.
She got the goujons and chips.
He even gave her prawn crackers and all he did.
Fucking rags to riches, what?
That was the second date, was it?
Oh, that was the first.
No, but I can only imagine, like Jay touched on there earlier, which is ourselves, like, and trying to prioritise everything, keep yourself together. Like, I'm assuming you have amazing family. I mean, even just meeting Mo, Keith, like, and having a conversation with him.
He's brilliant, hasn't he?
Yeah,
from what I can see,
yeah, exactly.
Like,
towards us, and anyway, he sounds like he's trying to do a lot, and he's giving us a dig out. Like, Mo is just, I'm assuming, one of many. Like, what has the family been like throughout this whole process?
My older sister, Joanne, she lives next door to me. So
right.
she like takes Bella 1 or 2 nights a week.
Was that on purpose? Or?
No.
No.
Well, we got a house in Neilstown, Force the Council rang. We were living in Ma. She had a young fella and I had Chantal, and they said they only built 4 houses. They said we have a house for the 2 of us. So we were over in Neilstown, and she lived beside me as well. And then I moved to a bigger house. And then a girl lived next door to me, so she said, "Will your sister transfer with me?"
Oh, happy days!
You know what I mean? So it was grand.
That's deadly, yeah.
She does a lot for me, like, do you know what I mean? Like, she minds her whenever I want. Like, she's actually like our nurse as well.
Deadly.
But it's like them all, like, all my brothers and sisters help, and all his brothers and sisters and help. Like, do you know what I mean? We lost out family, like. You know what I mean?
Is there any one person you want to call out that's a useless bastard? Just slate them, like.
The same majority of them.
How long have you got? There's a list.
In fairness, like, they are decent. It's not even that you have to make a phone call. It's like, it's there, and it's just like, can you do it? It's not, will you do it? It's, can you do it? And there's no issues with them. In fairness to them, they will help you out as much as they can.
I kind of won't leave her with many people either.
Yeah.
People are nervous with her as well. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But all the fundraisers that's happened, the plans in future as well, like the GoFundMe. What's it like, especially within the community? Like, how important is it, or how special is it to see the community come together for situations like that?
It is huge. Like, as I was saying to you at the start, I was kind of like, nah.
It's a pride thing.
I'm not putting my hand out there to be slapped. You know what I mean? Yeah. And everybody knows I work for a living. Do you know what I mean? And all I kept thinking about was, these fuckers are going to say, well, he's working. What does he need the money for? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But when you really put it into perspective, how much money that you have to put down a week to actually facilitate your daughter's needs for the rest of her life, it's not possible.
Fuck pride,
I think
fuck money.
sometimes you just have to take
and just think your daughter. Do you know what I mean?
That's nearly the price of a mortgage. But when you get a mortgage, you only need 10 or 20%, and you have 35 years to pay.
Yeah, you have 35 years to pay the rest of it off.
You have to pay
this
it all
I
at
haven't.
once. Do you know what I mean?
Like, the way I was looking at it, as I said to you before, Bella is 3 now. She's 30 kilo now at this stage. You try and get her up and down the stairs. 25 kilos she is. Is she 20? She feels like 30 kilos.
Don't they?
He's one of them lads that go to gym. What do you live 50s there, benching 40?
You're doing a great job, Keith. Yeah, you're doing a great job.
Like, do you know what I mean?
And
it would be ideal to have her everything downstairs to facilitate her. Like, like, even you're reaching in, you're into a normal bath, so you're reaching over, and the toilet is obviously wet, and you're trying to get her out of the bath without letting her fall, basically.
Yeah. And like, let's face it, like, even my ma had a dog even in the bath, and taking that thing out of the bath, you're nearly slipping from fucking the water just being on the floor. Do you know what I mean? So
it's
I can imagine with a kid, like, do you know what I mean?
can't even give her a bash too.
Well, like,
the
the worst thing about, like, as I told you, she's 2 tubes. She's one into the bowel and one into the stomach. And
make sure you don't fucking.
Yeah, and she's a fucker for grabbing it. Like, do you know what I mean? When she's in the bath, she's nudging at it, and like, if that comes out, it's straight back to A&E. It's not just push her back in. It's grand. You're straight up to A&E, up to theatre, and get a new one put in. So it's not a straightforward thing. I'll be back in 5 minutes in A&E. It's not that straight. So your pot herbs are gone. Just washing her alone, thinking if she grabs a hold of this and yanks it out, we're gone again.
And that's the thing, like that heightened sense of stress all the time. And then you're not sleeping either because you're always minding. Like all that is a knock-on effect, and you've had it for years. You know what I mean? So
even
it takes a toll on people. That does.
Even going to work and fucking like all the little details. Like I'll be honest with you, like a couple of times my kids have had earaches and toothaches and fucking nightmare.
You don't realise how fucking
so you're getting annoyed yourself. Will you shut up? It can't be that bad.
I remember you telling the story about your daughter with a tooth. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
But like you don't realise it's nothing in comparison, isn't it? Like, and yet we get so frustrated. Like,
fuck all, absolute. Like,
it's
I'm just being blatantly honest. Like, I find it very hard when my kids are sick, even if it's just for 24 hours.
Yeah.
Do you know?
Bella for 24 hours when she's sick.
Yeah, I can imagine. I can imagine. This is what I'm saying.
She's like she's possessed.
Is he complaining about his mic again?
Yeah,
is he?
No, it just went low.
He's so man. He has to be the loudest in the room. He does.
Centre of
Says
attention.
this fella.
Well,
Come on
look.
The centre of attention over there in the middle of the desk.
Fucking always, mate. We're in the middle of a conversation. Do you know what I mean?
Look,
have some respect, Jay.
you know
Will you?
what? Even though you're not even talking.
I know.
Can everyone hear me?
I know.
Say nothing. Go on, continue, Jay.
Apologies for that,
Sorry
guys.
about that, Keith.
But right, so
Sorry, Pamela.
again, I don't mean to keep on doing this, but I just want to keep it on a timeline frame. We jumped ahead there again, right? So after Callum, was it?
Yeah.
Callum. After Callum, then Bella came along.
Yeah.
Right. So start from the start then. Obviously, he's done the business, right?
That's usually how it happens, Keith.
Right. You just got pregnant again. Again, is she gonna have? I'm not even gonna try to say it.
Cystic fibrosis.
Right. So that thought's going through your head again.
65 roses.
Did
And
you?
I actually didn't get the test done.
Right.
The way we said it.
What
like,
was Bella planned first?
No.
Right, she
Bella
was.
surprised after 10 years.
Right.
Keith is just
So
irresistible.
after. So after then, she's not being planned. Then is that the whole scariness all over again? Like this could happen again.
I thought she was like about cystic fibrosis. That's all I
Yeah.
was worried
Yeah,
about.
that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
The whole pregnancy, that's all I was worried about was cystic fibrosis.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? And then,
So what else would you think of anything else?
do you know what I mean? That's
Yeah,
what I'm
you
saying.
wouldn't think of anything else.
You think you used all your bad luck and it was going to be easier.
And I said I wouldn't even get the test done when I was 16 weeks
Excuse me.
because when I got the test done on Callum when I was 16 weeks, my waters broke. So he was touch and go. Like after that, like it would have to happen to me again. My waters would have to break. Like, do you know what I mean? But he never told me that had happened, so I had to go straight back to the hospital. Like, and I was kept in, and they were saying no, it was like a miracle. The water kept building up by itself.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? But then I had him. But that's all I was worried about was having cystic fibrosis. But obviously,
So
didn't have it. But then,
well, why did you not get tested first of all?
just because of over Callum, because I broke my waters, because the chance you can have a miscarriage.
Right.
That's why I didn't. And I said, come here, if she's going to have it, she's going to have it.
Yeah.
No point.
Does the chance you're having a miscarriage from the test?
Yeah.
Oh fuck me, that's scary, isn't it?
And you only can get it done when you're 16 weeks.
Right.
So I just said, I'll just leave it because of what happened to me on Callum. I nearly lost him, like, so that's
Right.
why.
You weren't willing to take the
Yeah.
chance. Yeah, fair play.
So
And
I
at
just
what
said,
stage?
If it's
Sorry.
meant to be, it's meant to be. Like, do you know what
Yeah,
I mean?
100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
At what stage then did you find out cerebral palsy was what was happening? here, like?
Well, I think I was nearly 38 weeks, and I had an appointment in the Coombe on the Friday, just a checkup, like, and I was swelled all over, like I had preeclampsia, and he said, no, we're keeping it in because your blood pressure's sky high, you've loads of different stuff in your urine, and I said, yeah, that's grand, and he said, we'll break our waters the next day if your blood pressure stays up, and I said, yes, grand, I have them all at 47 weeks, and anyway, like. And then the next day, the doctor came around on call and he just said, hey, your blood pressure's gone down, you can go home. And I said, I don't feel right. Like I said, I just don't feel right at all. Didn't even put me on the heart monitor to check was the baby all right. He just said, go home, do a 48-hour urine count and then come back. And I said, all right, fair enough. Like they're telling me there was nothing wrong. So
Yeah.
I went home and then...
In the back of your mind, are you thinking though?
Yeah, I knew
this
there
is the
was.
same? Right.
I knew.
was no
I
relief.
just, you have that
Yeah.
feeling like...
Yeah.
And then that night, like the swelling was getting worse. Like I couldn't even walk. I had to wear slippers going around.
Right.
And then that night I was lying in the bed and I started getting pains. And I just said to him, I think I'm going to labour. But they were kind of different pains. And then I was saying, like, will I go over now? And then I said, I'll wait. Because when you go over, like, you feel like, there's nothing wrong with what you're coming over for, the least pain. Do you know the kind of way? That's the way they make you feel.
Yeah, I
I
know.
hate that shit. They were saying when I was in the
So
hospital.
that's why I said I'll wait. Don't matter waiting now, but come here. So I waited, pain started getting worse, and then I just got a gush. So I just said to him, this is drunk tonight. I said, I simply water's at the break, and like, I think I'm going to labour. So then I stood up, and it wasn't water, it was just blood. So then I rang an ambulance, obviously, and the ambulance...
So what was that like? Because I know a lot of people experience that.
He was
Do you know what I mean? But this is what I'm saying, that alone, like, there's so many people out there that has happened to, and there's been worse outcomes, you know what I mean? So what was that like when you see the blood? Like, what's, obviously, Keith, you're shaking, you're thinking the worst of things I can imagine.
Well, I obviously think of the worst thing imaginable, and when the ambulance came, I don't know what I was thinking. I got into the van and I actually drove.
He didn't even get in the ambulance.
I didn't even get in the ambulance.
Yeah, but your head wasn't working.
It wasn't there, and like I got to the hospital before they did.
Well, you should.
And I was like, "Where the fuck are they? I'm here. Like, where are they gone to a different hospital or something?" And with that, then they come in.
You're in the wrong job, Keith.
In the wrong
you
job.
need to be an ambulance man.
Looking for a mix up.
That was your audition.
I got
you need insurance though.
And as you say, I was sitting there for about 5 minutes twiddling my thumbs, and I was like, well, I'll take a chance and ring her and see where she is. And then I said, I'll just wait. And with that, the ambulance came blaring in and bailed out. And then they took her in. Your man took the scan then on her stomach then.
Right. Yeah, no, went up to, they went on the way to bring it into the room, and they checked the heartbeat.
Where did they bring you?
To the kiln.
To kiln, okay.
Brought me straight up to one of the wards where they check, for the heartbeat and all. So they were doing the monitor with the heartbeat and they couldn't find it. Now, I was just in shock. Like, I just wouldn't even say 2 words. Like, so they just checked to see if it was the heartbeat there, and said, no, we can't find the heartbeat. So next of all, I knew they were flying at me, giving me stuff to drink. Don't know why. I think that's because in case I have to get an anaesthetic.
Right.
So then I got brought into the labour room, and another head doctor came down, and he digged the scan in, and he said, right, now we have to go. Our heartbeat is faint. It's just about to go, like.
Right.
So I got there just in time. So then they brought me down, knocked me out, gave me a emergency section, and came out. And then I just remember they told me that she had to get chest compressions for 15 minutes.
Which is a long fucking time.
Yeah, so that's what happened to her. There was lack of oxygen for 15 minutes. But so she got brought to the unit. She had to be heated and killed. They just have to, because like what happened.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like she died and then they brought her back. Like,
Yeah.
And then she went over after 2 days. Then she was on the ventilator and all. And then after 2 days, they brought her over to Crumlin Hospital to get an MRI on her brain, because they said to me there could be damage or there could be not be damaged. I said, yeah, fair enough. So she went over, got the MRI, and then the next day, the doctor rang. I was still in the kiln, and he rang down to the ward and said, can the 2 of them come up? And I knew, you know the way they say, can the 2 of them come up? So when I went into the room, he was just explaining, saying, like, she's brain damaged. Like, I thought she was brain dead. Like, they just told me she's brain damaged. That was it. And then I just got up and I just started crying, just walked out of the room. Like, do you know what I mean? I was like, oh, here, I can't deal with this. Like, do you know what I mean?
Especially after what you've already been through.
That's what I said. Like, what? Like, why would it have to happen to me? Like, this and that. But it's just one of them things. It might be because my placenta erupted. Like, do you know what I mean? It's just one of them things that happen. And yeah, it would have to happen to me.
Just...
Do you know, that kind of a way? Like, but,
no, like... Listen to everything that you've said, and obviously, Keith, this affects you. Like you're the father to every single one of these children. That affects you mentally, of course. Pamela, you're the one delivering these children.
Yeah.
Like, where's your mind state at? Like, 3 children that you've had have had some sort of disability or another.
Yeah.
What do you think? Like, what goes through your mind on a daily basis?
I don't know. To be honest with you, half the time I don't even know. Like, I just.
Are you numb to it now? Like, or is
like,
it just?
I just get on with it. Like here to do being tossed, like, how are you always smile? Like, that's all you do is laugh and smile, like, all day long.
All day.
Said,
you have to.
I said, because I have to. If I'm not laughing, I'm crying.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And if I don't laugh, I will cry. Do you know what I mean? So you just have to deal. There's nothing you can do about it. At least they're here and you have to kids.
Everyone in the comments will back you up there, Pamela. There's millions of people commenting.
It's literally been amazing.
It's actually been our best comment section ever. Like, it's literally lit up here.
It's so positive. Like,
credit to you, fair play.
Could you, or did you, what am I trying to say here? Could she have had, I'm not going to say cerebral palsy, I'm trying to say, is that right?
Cerebral palsy.
Well, we didn't.
Like, can you tell now if she would have had it, or because of what happened, you can't tell?
No, it's because when she got the MRI, that's how we knew. No, she got the MRI, as I said. They came back and said she was brain damaged.
Yeah.
So then they let her home after 2 weeks. They were just trying to learn how to feed.
Yeah.
Suck a bottle. They had a feeding tube up her nose, but then she eventually did suck a bottle. So I brought her home, and she was feeding for about a week, and then she just wouldn't stop crying. She used to scream from 10 o'clock in the morning to 12 o'clock at night. I thought she'd colic.
Right.
That's all. I didn't know. Like, I just knew she'd brain damage, but like 3 parts of her brain is damaged. But I didn't know what I was dealing with.
Of course, yeah.
And then she just kept screaming. She wouldn't feed for me at all. So I brought her over to Crumlin, and I said, there's something wrong with this child. I said, she's just crying all the time. So they brought her in. Then the brain doctor came down, and he said, no, she has cerebral palsy. And that what's wrong with her, why she's screaming all the time, is because she's muscle spasms all over her body, in her gut. Like,
so she is, I didn't know this. So she has that on top of being brain damaged.
Yeah, well, it's cerebral palsy. Brain damage is cerebral palsy. Like, it's about
sorry, what's the other thing that your other kids have?
Cystic fibrosis.
That's my fault.
Yeah. She hasn't got cystic fibrosis, no.
She doesn't have that.
No, thank God she hasn't got the 2 of them.
Sorry, that's where I fucked up. These names are fucking confusing me. That was actually me original. What I meant to ask, my original question was.
No.
Right, so you could find that out after all this had happened, that she didn't have that.
They tell you now on the heel prick.
Right.
That she had, because he rang me when I got home with her and he said, I have good news, she hasn't got cystic fibrosis. I said, well, at least that's one thing.
Yeah.
I was like, imagine her having the 2 of them.
Yeah.
Because with cerebral palsy, they suffer with their breathing as it is, because they're not active, they're not moving, they're just lying there. Do you know the kind of way, like? But, yeah, so that's when we found out she's cerebral palsy, and she was in hospital then for months because she wouldn't feed, wouldn't, like, suck a bottle, like that, so they'd put the tube up her nose. But then eventually she got the peg tube into her stomach.
Right.
And she went home with that, but I already knew how to do that because I did her 2 kids.
Yeah.
And then from that, she's just in and out, getting like.
I'd say is literally regulars in there.
And like I'm going there 20 years, and now everyone in the place, when they see me, I get brought straight in, and I like, they're great up there.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
and you need them little details, don't you? Like, to make it that bit easier.
Just to make that bit easier on you going in, you don't want to be sitting there for 8 or 10 hours thinking, I'm not even seeing you. I haven't even seen a doctor yet.
Yeah.
But it's kind of, it's like priority with them. I know it's not a great thing to have, but when you're walking in, it's like, there you go, let's go.
Come here, tell me, Keith, when they're getting these treatments, for you, is it scary? Are you happy that they're getting like the treatment that they need? Like, where does your head go as a father when they're going to the hospital and they're getting something done? Are you nervous? Are you excited that they're not going to be in as much pain anymore? Like, where does your head lie there?
Well, see, the thing was at the start, nobody kind of had an answer for us. They were like, oh, we'll do this and we'll do that. And it got to a stage, like, we had 15 people or something, 15 nurses and doctors and everyone in front of us. And I said, like, somebody gave me one answer to tell me what's wrong with my daughter here. Nobody can tell me here. And this one girl stood up and says, this is what she has, this is what we're going to do, and this is what we're going to try. I said, right, fair enough. And within 2 days of that girl standing up and doing that, the child would stop screaming. Like, she was, as Pamela said, she was screaming from 10 o'clock in the morning till 12 o'clock at night, and we didn't know what was wrong with her.
Like when you wake up and you get a locked leg.
Yeah.
Well, that's her whole body went into spasms, basically.
Is mainly affected, like, our gut, you know what I mean, area.
I'm just reading here, right? So it says between 50 to 60% of children with cerebral palsy can walk independently. Where is the status in that in terms of Bella eventually?
It's hard to say. Like, there's numerous amounts of, like, brain damage. When they say to you brain damage, you'll think of the worst possible outcome. Brain damage. You know what I mean? Like, she's going to be lying there, she's not going to do anything. And
a vegetable almost.
Yeah, like, basically, she's not going to do anything. She's not going to interact with you or anything like that. Now, Bella is completely different, even though there's 3 sections of her brain that is damaged. That one section, as I've said to them numerous amounts of times, I'd love to see what parts of her brain is damaged, because she knows everything that's going around her. She knows everyone going around her, and she's clever as hell.
The only thing that's badly affected is all her muscle tones. Like, they told me that she won't walk, she won't talk. But he said you can't say she'll never.
You also said that your daughter wouldn't get past 6 months, so you never write these things off.
No, I mean, but it's because, like, see when the poor her standing down, she hasn't got the head control. Her head is just flop, and then her legs kind of shake. Do you know what I mean? It's because which cerebral palsy she has. It's called dystonia. Do you know what I mean? Like, she can't
56
stop herself.
roses.
65 roses.
65.
56.
I only heard it twice. Give me a break.
Yeah, so, but she's under palliative care and all. Like, they came into me, like, said, hey, we're palliative care in here. And why you was here? Like, he was not only for people that's dying.
End of life. Like.
You know what I mean? But no, they're actually not. They're like pain doctors.
Right.
So that's why she's under them, like, for pain meds. Like, they do all her, they tell me what meds to give her to relax her. And, you know what I mean? Like, just all keep her comfortable in a kind of way. Like, but she knows everything that's going around. Like, I can't. She's lying in the chair and I walked to the front door for smoking, screaming. I walked back in, she stopped laughing at me. Like, she's spoiled.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that's what's... And, like, even when we're driving the car, it does be screaming. When we get to Neiltown, she stops laughing.
Yeah,
like,
keep saying that to me earlier.
Like, do you know what I mean? Like, it's mad. There must be that one part of the brain is grand, like, you know.
You'd love to spend an hour in her head, wouldn't you?
Definitely. It just thinking, she's just saying, I'm just going to piss days off now for the next hour.
It's like, I've nothing to do. We're going to stay awake tonight.
I'm not in the humour of going out anywhere, so I'm just going to scream the car down till I get back home.
Going to put me in the bat later, I'll show them much.
You can't predict the day or night, you just don't know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you can't say, I'm going to bed and she's going to sleep all night.
Tell me, Rhys,
you know what I mean? Like,
obviously, your 4 children, you love them all endlessly. The positives of, like, Bella, like, obviously, I would imagine it becomes an even more special relationship, you know, because of everything, and you can't take life for granted. Well, what way do you treat that? Like, is it just treat, like you said, probably treat them the same as your other kids? Or is it just...
There's no difference with her. Like, she doesn't get treated, and like... Pamela, tell you, Bella gets given out to like the rest of them. Will you shut up? You haven't stopped screaming since 10 o'clock this morning or whatever. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that's the way I look at it. I think that's our way of dealing with it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's just
and
like
look,
normalising it though.
It's like fucking Eric Bourne, right? We had Eric Bourne here a couple of weeks back, and I would have hung around with Ian for a couple of years, you know, and every time I was in the gaff, they used to say, come on, Hot Wheels, and come on, will you get up, what you wearing runners for, you can't even use the fucking things, you know. They used to give them stick, like, but I understood where that was coming from. That's to make Eric feel as normal as possible, because let's face it, if you've red head, you're fucking redhead. If you're fat, you're a fat cunt. Do you know what I mean? So it is the way to normalise it.
It is, yeah.
And it obviously helps you as well as her, I'm assuming. Like I said, you'd love to spend an hour in her head to see what little details she can pick up on. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You'd fucking love it, wouldn't you?
It'd be ideal to see what she's actually sitting there thinking about, and what she has mentality wise to do something.
Yeah.
Like there was a stage there, we've 2 cup holders in the chair, and he used to put one of her syringes in the cup holder after giving her meds, and she'd reach across, grab it out of the cup holder, and she'd be swinging it around. And then when you go to record her on the phone doing it, she just drops it. It's just like, no, you're not doing it. And I cannot for the life of me go on the phone while I'm sitting beside her. I cannot talk to anybody, I cannot text, I can't do nothing on the phone.
Your horse alone.
That's it.
Jay needs to spend time with her.
She goes bananas. And like, she'd be sitting there and she's in that arm there, and I'll be on the phone, and it'd start, and as soon as I put the phone off, she just look up at you and have to say, I told you, and then look at the telly again.
Loves all the attention.
There has to be attention 24/7.
Can you, like, obviously I don't know, does she have like her favourite shows and things like that? Do you know all these little details? Like she has all that stuff clued in.
And Peppa Pig.
We had Peppa Pig.
I haven't watched telly in 3 years.
For bleeding months on end. We had Peppa Pig. It was a squeaky little pig. I hated the English accent.
I can't imagine.
Cocomelon's worse.
I mean,
and then we wrapped on Cocomelon. Then you have little curly-headed JJ running around the house 24/7.
Get bored with it. Like, when she doesn't want to watch, she just start crying. Like,
yeah.
Get off now.
You know all the theme songs, like the back is a hands on the same.
Yeah.
Give us a tune there, Keith. Go on, Keith. Give us a tune.
Go on, Keith. We're all singing along. Go on.
No, it's not gonna happen.
Right, man, take it away.
Well, even with the eldest daughter, like the eldest daughter, I'd stick on YouTube and stick a song on, and whatever song she'd like, and she'd start crying unless she liked that song. So she'd be sitting there, and if she put a song on she didn't like, she'd cause murder. And then if you put a song on that she likes, she'd sit there and listen to it.
Can I ask you a question? This might be fucking stupid, right?
Here we go.
Probably will be.
I thought you weren't allowed course. Thought you were doing this course.
You're allowed to do what the fuck you want, yeah. You're allowed to do whatever you want, yeah. When it comes to music, is there a certain genre she's into? Like, would she like slow love songs? Would she like fast R&B songs? Like, does she? I guarantee it. There's probably one genre that she likes more.
There is one song that she goes ballistic, versatile.
Must be joking.
Right.
And it's only that section. No way your man's going along in the Hummer.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh,
Right.
bollocks.
Exactly.
And the smile, she does look like a Cheshire cat.
So she's supporting the Irish rap gang.
She is, yeah. You could basically say that, yeah.
What about you, Keith? Are you supporting the Irish rap gang?
He's dedicated half his life to looking like Snoop Dogg.
Yeah, rumour has it Mo has a bit in him, does he? Is that where she's getting him from? Mo used to be a rapper, did he?
I wouldn't say he was a rapper, but he certainly
had,
dressed like
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
I had 50 cent and then I went to 20 pence. You know?
But come here, what's
The
the
real small Slim Shady.
what's the public perception like? Like, what's it like on, like, perfect example, I've been out with me cousin a good few times who's handicapped, and she gets
I know where you're going with this. And I find it irritating. I tend to lose the head a bit. Like, I think, what are they fucking staring at here?
Yeah.
What are they looking at? And like, as a friend always said to me, he said like, they could have somebody at home that's in the same predicament as Bella, or they could know somebody. They're not actually looking directly at Bella because there's a feeding pump hanging over, or tube hanging over, or anything like that. But yeah, it does get very annoying. Yeah,
It doesn't bother me because you're automatically going to look. They're only looking like somebody was she's called.
Yeah, see, but
you know what I mean?
I see Keith's perspective as well. Like, as a father, you're nearly, what the fuck you looking at?
Yeah.
Keep it up, I'm telling you. But at the same time, sometimes you just need to take it back and think, like, look, it isn't the norm. They're curious, maybe. They're not necessarily looking, saying, look at that. Do you know what I mean? They could be saying, like, they're going through a lot. They could be doing loads of different things. So that's where
but I think
you come in good there. Do you know what I mean?
Straight away,
100%, and I can imagine I'd be the same. Yeah.
And like, the worst thing is when I'm walking by somebody and if I catch them in the corner of my eye, looking back at me.
Probably looking back at your board.
Could be. I don't know. Do you know what I mean?
Give us a twirl there, Pamela, will you?
Yeah, if they find out what she does for a chicken ball and 20 blue, she get all the looks.
Oh, stop. That's why we have Martin here. He's full of the fucking one-liners.
Don't finish out there. Don't tell him now.
Don't tell him or I won't be allowed to go, you man.
Oh, stop. That's gas. But yeah, like I said, I'd say that's just like it could be multiple things. But did you ever step out of line with it? Did you ever like shout at someone? Or?
No, there was a stage where I was like close to grabbing somebody by the neck because, as I said to you, when they were walking by me, I caught them in the corner of the eye, and I was like, just felt like saying, "The fuck are you staring at? Like, is there something different here that I can't see?" Yeah, you know what I mean? It does get irritating.
I'm going back now when I was probably about 16, 17, and I swear to God, I've never been so close to confronting a stranger in my life. There was a girl in a wheelchair. I don't know what was wrong with her now, but they were only young fellas. They were probably, now when I say young fellas, they were probably around the same age I was, 14, 15, a little bit younger at the time, and they were laughing. And I was like, you know what I mean? That's when I nearly got up and went over and said, lads, have a bit of fucking cop on, you know? Like, has that ever been anything like that?
No, and I don't think I'll be able to deal with a level head if something like that happened, and that's being honest.
Even though they're just kids, like, still.
I'd still see myself reaching out.
100%, yeah.
I wouldn't give a shit who they are if they are disrespecting my child or putting her down, that irritates me straight away.
I know, but you don't know what your kids is doing as well. Do you know what I mean? That's why I hate all that, you know. I know if they're at me, say like stop.
See, this is the thing. Like, some of it, like, we were all kids. So some of us just act the bollocks and do stupid shit just to show off in front of our mates. But like you said, you can get you in serious trouble doing something like a split second of something stupid like that. You know.
Like, as Pamela said, if she hadn't have been with me a couple of times, there's a couple of strangers I would have gladly grabbed by the neck, and asked them what they were staring at.
So tell us, right? We're coming towards the end now, right? So let us know what can people do to help now?
Well, there's a numerous amount of things that people can do. Obviously, they can add to the GoFundMe. If there's anybody that is out there that's listening from the council, we're screaming to try and get permission off the council. Because we don't own the house at the minute, they're refusing to give us permission to build the extension that we need for Bella.
Which is fucking ridiculous.
It's horrendous. And like we have numerous amount of phone calls off them, and they won't state in a letter that they're not building the extension or they're not giving the go ahead to build the extension. They're just saying, there's a grant there. it'd be 3 to 7 years before you'd be eligible to get the grant. And like now, over the last couple of weeks, we're at the been speaking to decent people. In
where did we get them figures from? Like who decides, right?
7 years.
But not who says like, right? Not that's 7 years. That's 10 years. Like, where do these numbers come from? Is it off a budget?
How the fuck do you know you're going to have the money in 7 years?
I know. This is what I'm saying. Like,
this is what you're up against, and that's what frustrates you. Like, and as I say, it's not you're asking the council to build it. You're not asking them to pay for it. Like they do probably have to overlook it to make sure that everything's built accordingly, but it's still not a huge budget that they're going to have to hand out to send an engineer to site, probably the start, middle and the end of the process. So I really can't understand why they won't give us the go-ahead. They will get the go-ahead. Well, we can't say that they will give the go-ahead. We've asked for permission.
Just try to get onto a TD, right?
We've been onto a TD, but what they done the smart thing again with the TD. They sent them a letter saying the grant will be available in so many years' time. But they never turned around and said, listen, we're still not giving you permission to build on our house.
So they're saying they're diverting it to a separate issue. They're making it about something else.
They keep pushing it aside to something else.
Well, if the TDs stay on top of it, like we had Mark Ward on the podcast early days, and he told me like when there's certain scenarios that he's not getting answer to, he does pressurize them into doing it. So
well, what I'm doing now at the minute is I'm sending them an email. I'm sending the exact same email to every email address that's in the council at the minute. So if I get an answer, if I don't get an answer of it, the email's gone again, and I'm sending it to probably 3 or 4 emails in the council. Now in the last 3 weeks, I've no answers. I haven't even had a reply off anybody after sending the email, and I'm just going to keep constantly doing it until somebody reaches out. But if somebody doesn't reach out, I'm going to have enough then behind me to say, well, listen, I'm going the last 3 months sending emails, and nobody's replied to one of the emails that I've sent.
Keith, I imagine like all this makes you feel like absolute shit because you're the man of the house, right? Your job, in my opinion, now everyone has different opinions, is to supply for your family, right?
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
You're trying very hard. I can see, I can tell. Obviously, all the work that you have been doing in the background as well, and this just isn't fucking happening for you. Like you're trying your hardest. I can only imagine what that feels like. Like
it's
that alone, like
it's very annoying as well. Do you know what I mean? To think, what more do you want me to do here? Like we're not asking you for the money anymore now. But
you had to figure in that part out.
The money part out of it now. So why are you holding us back to build exactly what Bell it needs now at this stage? And it is very frustrating.
It feels like we never have an hour's luck. Like we can't do anything right. You know what I mean? Like
I think that will change though. I definitely think that looks going to change because I think this is too strong right now for it not to happen. I feel anyway. You know what I mean? And I think
but see, you have to remember as well, Jay. Like it's all well and good you saying that.
Not saying that.
I know that. But these are dealing with this on a daily fucking basis. You know what I mean?
I know.
But hopefully, something like this podcast and the right person listening to it might help. And that's why we wanted to get you on. Whether it's just like, if we earn fucking an extra €400 for you, I'd be delighted with that. Do you know what I mean?
Definitely.
Unless you are a fucking joke. No, but do you know what I mean? If we...
Have you got anything planned next, anything big coming up? Next,
Any
what's the next
events
big thing coming up for Bella's Fund?
We have a 21k run down to Clane. And
not a Barry Begley after.
It's actually a Barry Begley and a Mo thing coming up again, And I think Mo was actually doing a 5-day walk as well.
Yep.
Because we are supposed to do a cycle from Dublin to Gordy as well.
Have you not heard about this, Pamela?
No, I didn't hear about
it.
Man, do you want to announce it to her actually?
Yeah, well, Mo texted
You have all the details, don't you?
Yeah, Mo texted me earlier about it. So basically what he wants us to do, what we said we'll do is 4 of us, myself, Mo, and the 2 Jays said they'll do it. We're going to get a train to Galway and walk from Galway back to Clondalkin as another little charity event for Bella's Fund. Yeah, we're going to try and do it March next year.
I know, it's just...
You're more than welcome for the company.
Tell you what, me and Jay are going to be in some nick after that walk, I tell you.
Yeah.
What do you mean I'm a fucking tank, you little tick? Speak for yourself.
You're a big alright, yeah. But that's the next thing, Pamela.
Fair play, just.
5-day walk from Galway to Dublin. So if you want to get behind that, lads, I'm sure we'll throw the link in the description, or maybe in the comments here. We have a lot of comments on this, so we'll throw the link in there. But yeah, feel free to get behind it, lads. Big help, big support.
Yeah, and I have to say as well, like the fundraisers that have been held so far, like obviously the head shaving one, the one on the road,
that was
St.
brilliant.
Mark's and all, like great day for it, like for everyone involved. Like
He done the sports.
They done the gym thing together or something, didn't they, in the park?
He's going to do another one as well.
Was Brian Guy involved?
Brian
in
Guy
that
was
as well?
involved, and Dean
He done it actually
Carpenter,
for me
yeah.
and another charity.
Right.
So when the target is reached, the figure is reached, let's say you still get the planning permission, everything goes well, how less strenuous will it be on the two of you?
That's a great word, Jay.
Thanks. Thanks, Jay.
I just didn't expect that of you. Good job.
I think I pop up every now and
Yeah,
then.
you do. That was a good one.
Not bad for St. Mark's. Yeah, how do you think your daily life will become?
I'm not going to say it'd be easier. It'd be a lot less stressful, hassle-free. And we'd probably end up getting more time to ourselves. I don't mean that in a bad way, but...
You deserve it. You need it.
Lads.
Like, at the end of the day, we don't go out and broadcast saying, like, we're at the been dealing with sick kids the last 21 years now at this stage. You know what I mean? I want all the helping hand I can get. This is the first time I've put my hand out, you know what I mean, to ask.
That's my problem.
And I'm hoping that they do give the go-ahead to build this, because Bella needs it more than any of us at the end of the day. Yeah. As I say, it will give her that more space, the more freedom that she needs. And it's just going to make life a lot easier for her. Obviously, getting in and around the house in the wheelchair, the hoist, the high chair that she has, the pea-pod, we can't push her around the house in the wheelchair.
Yeah.
It's just not working. Do you know the type of way? So,
and it's as well, like, it's for the other kids as well, because like when Bella's a week, the whole gaff is a week.
Yeah.
Because she's crying and they have to go to school, this and that. Do you know what I mean? At least if she has her own space, I'm down there with her as well.
Yeah.
And nobody will hear her. Do you know what I mean? Around like that. Oh.
See, these are the details that, like I said, people don't really understand.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
As I said
it's
earlier,
the fine details that people forget about. Like.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Like, this extension is basically the price of a gaff. Do you know what I mean? It's fucking astronomical. So
Realistically, you fucking could do with a brand new fucking gaff.
I
with
know.
everything fucking done for you.
I know.
Wider fucking hallways and everything else.
I
You
was
know?
laughing when you said
Haven't
there's
even
no
got a
room for-
ramp
Yeah, this is
for
what
a
I'm saying.
wheelchair. You have to lift our wheelchair in the door, like.
Yeah, our houses
Disgraceful.
aren't built for that around Clondalkin.
No.
They'd rather move me. They want me to move. But I said, why should I have me? I have a corner house. My sister lives next door. She does. Do you know
You're
what I
happy
mean? To
where
have
you
to
are,
help.
yeah.
I'm
It's
happy
just a
where I
lot of
am.
bureaucracy,
Look,
a lot of
if-
council forms is holding you back, a lot of
Yeah,
bollocks,
but
like.
it's a joke because, like you said, you've done all the hard work yourselves. You know what I mean? You have, I'm sure you know a lot of builders, electricians, fucking plumbers, everything else to give a dig out with the work as well. Do you know what I mean?
won't be short for options
no,
at all.
definitely not. Like, and like as I was saying to Pamela, it's not even that we're looking for people to do it. Well, what I said for it is we'll get the money up. I mean, when we do get the money up, it's one person and one person only coming in and doing the job, finalising the job completely. So that type of way, just get it done and dusted, and get it done. And the quicker we can get it built, the better it is for Bella at the end of the day.
Well, what are we off? How far off are we?
50, about 40, or 50 at the minute. 73 at the minute, sorry.
Hopefully the walk puts a good dent in that.
73 is what you have.
50, yeah, we're
73 is what you have.
47,000 off the mark price, basically.
And
That's only in now. We only have to since April.
that's what I was going to say. Like, so that's
is
great.
brilliant,
Like,
you know what I mean?
yeah.
And it'll only get better as long as you keep doing things like this. Like, first of all, fair play to you for coming on, because Keith, I know after talking to you, this is completely out of your comfort zone, and likewise, Pamela, you were sweating walking up the stairs. Yeah, see, you're brand new. Like I told you, you would be. It's all about the house making her feel comfortable. You know what I
Coming
mean?
back on future episodes,
If
not
you
just
know
for the chinwag.
That's a massage chair she's sitting on, by the way.
If you know Pamela outside the podcast, it's getting her to stop talking is the truth.
But no, like, it's the things like this that you kind of need to do. Do you know what I mean? You're stepping out of the comfort zone, and that's a testament to you ourselves and how much it actually means to you. You know what I mean? Because it's not easy to fucking come on YouTube and fucking talk about your fucking life and bang your board after getting a 3-1. Do you know what I mean? Not every.
You can always trust Jay Garvey to bring it there. Don't worry. He'll always bring it there.
You went back in the gutter.
I always have to bring it there. I'm
Straight
guilty.
into the gutter with it.
Yeah.
No, but you know what? Like, and sorry, Jay, but
No, it's
like,
all good, Jay.
the reaction, as Martin touched on earlier, even in these comments, has been brilliant.
Yeah,
Like, there's a very good comment here where someone just says it's very heartfelt, it's heartbreaking, but at the same time, their strength is very admirable. Do you know what I mean?
It
is. It's really good. Like, the two of you came in here and you just wouldn't think that there's an issue in the world. Do you know what I mean? You carry yourselves very well, so I can only say fair play to the two of you for that.
I don't know how. Honestly, I don't know how you do it. Obviously, I can what's the word I'm looking for? Jay, help me out here.
I don't know what you're going to
big words.
I can fucking
Eat loads of pizza.
I can compare myself more to Keith. What's the word I'm looking for? Relate. Fucking easiest word in the world.
It's 6 letters.
Obviously, I can relate more to Keith because he's a man and he's a father.
Sexist.
And Keith, I have to say, like, I don't know how you do, brother. Because, I mean, my kid's falling, I'm heartbroken. Do you know what I mean? Like, the strength you show is incredible. And the fact that you still wake up every morning, you still go to work, and you're, like I said, you're doing shit like this, like, you're a fucking credit to your family, mate. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart. Fair play to you. And Pamela, don't even get me started on you, because, I mean, I respect everything my ex-board does for my kids. And I know, I genuinely sometimes rather going to work than staying at home, because I know how hard the kids can be. So, yeah, no, it definitely is at times.
Alarm at 6 o'clock. I'm not in late.
You literally, like, as cliche as a fucking sound, you literally are the superwoman. And the fact that you have a smile on your face, and I know behind closed doors you wouldn't have a smile on your face all the time, but like, it's incredible what you're doing for them kids. Like, and you are an inspiration to anyone that's going through similar shit. And I have to say, fair play to you. Anything we can do to help, whether it's fucking lifting a brick, whether it's doing a walk, whether it's helping with charity, anything at all, let us know.
Yeah.
Right?
They're very good. Thanks very much.
No problem at all. And listen to everybody as well who tuned in as well with that messages. Like, it's very important, like, today, especially, obviously, how the significance of this message as well, and trying to raise the extra money. Like Mo again in the comments, like, hashtag Team Bella, we won't stop till we hit the target. Like, the community will be like that. The community will be behind you. So
it is amazing what the community can do. Like, it's
I saw the comments after this. Beaver, Lorraine, Daly, everyone's in there.
Like, it's mad. Like, anytime anything happens around here, we do all come together. As much as we all have a little feels like, he's a wanker, he's an arsehole. It is great to see everyone come together.
Someone's in need,
you know what I mean?
Someone's in need, we join forces. Like, it's brilliant.
We do. But is there anything else you just want to touch on?
Happy enough.
You made it, Pamela. You made it.
Happy enough.
Now, like I said, fair play to us for coming on. Hopefully this puts a little dent in some form of help towards you, and all the best going forward.
Hopefully.
Thanks for coming on.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Well done.
Murray, I'll see you out, bud.
Right, lads. Thanks for coming on.